this tutorial I'm going to show you how after you've made a path, you can then fill that path with pixels. So you can, as I said in other tutorials, otherwise this is new to you, you can also use these paths to mask off features, and I talk more about how you mask them off in the masking demos. So this one we're going to show you how you fill it with pixels at this point, which is different from a shape layer. So you select the path. So I've got my path window open. If I click on my path shows up. And what I got to do, as I've said in previous ones, you got to make it a selection so that it knows what you want to do with it. Or if I just click on my direct select tool, my white arrow, and click on the path, I can use the path panel also to fill it as well. Now, what I want to show you here is that I've got my path selected, and I click on it to fill the path, and you see fill path is grayed out, or stroke path, or rather fill path is grayed out. It's not giving you, it's giving you a no symbol. What that means is that you don't have, or Photoshop sees the path, but it needs a layer to put it on. So as you can see here in my layer palette, I don't have any of the layers selected. So until I click on one of these layers, so I've clicked on it now, all of that stuff fills in and allows me to do it. So there's a couple of ways that we can do this. You can make it a selection, and 0 is fine. Where you can fill it with the paint bucket tool, you can fill it with the edit menu, where I have fill here. You can fill it by just clicking the fill feature, and whatever is your fill color here in your foreground, that's what it'll fill it with. So I just filled it with my foreground color. That's what it will fill by default. I can go to the side menu here, and I can fill the path, and it will fill it with the foreground color, or I can pick a specific color. Gives you a little more options there without having to change your foreground color. I can fill it with pixels if this is a photograph with surrounding pixels. I can fill it with a pattern, black, white, 50% gray. So in my experience, the option panel gives you a little more. This is just whatever your foreground color is going to be. The edit menu, if I go to fill, is pretty much the same thing as the options menu on your path palette, where I can fill it with black, white, gray, foreground, a specific color, or whatnot. Go ahead and deselect this for a second. And when you're using the path palette to fill it, it doesn't necessarily have to be marching ants around. It doesn't have to be a selection. So as you can see, I have no marching ants going on. Okay. I can just fill it with my foreground color, or I can fill it and get the full fill options again, and it doesn't have to be marching ants. So it's kind of one of the advantages of having paths. Paths, when you're creating them, give you a little greater control of detail. And as you can see here with the path palette itself, gives you a little more greater control of then what do you want to do with those paths. Do you want to turn them into fill it in with pixels, or as I'll show you in another tutorial, how you stroke them, or how you can make them masks, so you can mask out other pixels, but that's how you fill paths in Adobe Photoshop.